No, they hang upside down, they take a crap, they don't bother anybody. You people don't know when you're well off. Maybe you'd like to go back to living in the trees, huh? Huh? Remember that? Remember the trees? Competing with the baboons and gibbons for hazelnuts and loganberries? Degrading. So there'll be no more drawing on the walls. A couple of 1,000 years from now, people are going to come here, they're going to study these caves. The last thing they want to see is a lot of horse pictures on the walls. Okay, continuing on here. As some of you might have noticed, last night the fire went out. A couple of guys on guard duty were jacking around, playing grab-ass, and one of them, Octavio, the short guy with the bushy hair, well, one of the short guys with the bushy hair. Anyways, Octavio fell on the fire, and the fire went out. Unfortunately for Octavio, he died in the incident. Unfortunately for us, he was the only one who knew how to light the fire. So we're going to have a contest. First guy to get a fire going and keep it going wins a prize. It's a hat. Nothing fancy, just a regular hat. The kind with the ear laps. Okay, next item here. We're starting to get some complaints from the women about dating procedures. This mainly concerns the practice of clubbing the women on the head and dragging them back to the cave by the hair. They would like us to discontinue this practice, especially the hair part. It seems some of them go to a lot of trouble and expense to fix up their hair for a date, and they feel the dragging has a negative effect on their appearance. As far as the clubbing is concerned, they'd like to eliminate that too, because what happens is, a lot of them have an enjoyable date, and then they can't remember it in the morning. Moving right along, as you all know, it's been our practice when we find a new plant that looks good to eat, we test it on the dogs to see if it's poison. Everybody remember the berries we tested last week on the big brown dog? Huh? How many ate the berries simply because the dog didn't die that day? Quite a few. Well, I got bad news. The dog died last night. Apparently it was a slow-acting poison. Yeah, Laszlo, yeah? You didn't eat the berries, but this morning you ate the dog. Well, Laszlo, you got about a week. Food chain. How many times do I got to tell you people? Food chain. By the way, anyone who's getting into that new cannibalism crap, I won't mention any names, but I'd strongly suggest not eating Laszlo, okay? Or anyone else for that matter. All right, now we got to talk about the hated band of enemy people who live in the Dark Valley. As some of you might know, the hated band of enemy people who live in the Dark Valley snuck into the camp last night and stole a whole bunch of our stuff. They got those sticks we were saving. They got the rocks we piled up near the big tree. They also took 16 trinkets, the ones we got in the trade with the friendly bent-over people from the tall mountains near the sun. I think it was them. It was either them or the guys with the really big foreheads down by the river. Anyways, as I recall, we came off a cool 200 animal skins for those trinkets, and frankly, the chief and I think we got screwed. And by the way, speaking of screwing, they also stole several of our women last night, along with a couple of those sensitive men we've been using as women. Okay, a new problem has come up that we're going to have to deal with. It concerns the growing menace of people chewing the leaves of the dream plant. It's gotten completely out of hand. At first it wasn't so bad, after a long day of hunting or gathering, whatever. People would chew a couple of leaves to relax. Recreational chewing. No harm, no foul. But then some guys couldn't leave it alone, They would chew way too much and lose control. Some of them became verbally abusive. Of course, they couldn't help what they were saying. It wasn't them talking, it was the leaves talking. But hey, nevertheless. Then we found out some people were chewing on the job, not only endangering the lives of their co-hunters or co-gatherers, whatever, but also lowering the amount of food we acquire while somehow at the same time greatly increasing the rate of consumption of their own food. One of the gatherers, a short guy with bushy hair, I think it was Norris, he got whacked out of his skull on leaves last week, and he came in from gathering with a grand total, get this, a grand total of 6 berries and 1 nut. And this guy had been out in the bushes for 8 days. But now we're running into an even more serious problem with the dream plant that affects the safety of everyone. It seems that some people are chewing the leaves and then running around in circles at high speed. As a result, we're starting to get a huge increase in the number of accidents. People are crashing into each other. please try to remember chewing and running around in circles at high speed don't